Hello programmers, welcome back to this Introduction to Java tutorial series. Today I'm going to be talking about print statements in Java, which are very important. I'm hoping to keep this lesson pretty short. So let's get started. As you can see, I've already opened up my IDE and I've reopened a class from last tutorial called MyVariables, where we just created a bunch of variables and we reassigned them with different values. So now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and print some of these variables and print things to the console. What does it mean to print things to the console? Well, the console is basically what the user sees when you run your program. So if you'd like for your user to see a specific text or a prompt, or if you'd like to show the user what is assigned, what the assigned value of a variable is, then you're going to need to print things to the console. So let's go ahead and do that. There are two very simple ways to do this in Java. Actually, there are more, but we're only going to be focusing on these two because they should be able to do everything that you need for you. So, without further ado, let's learn these two ways to print things to the console. So, one way is by typing system.out.print and then passing an argument into print and then ending with a closing parenthesis and a semicolon. Now, what would that argument be? It could be a number of things. I could create a string right here, and I could type in something like hello world. And if I were to go ahead and run this program, because my system.out.print hello world is inside this main method right here, the compiler would recognize, okay, I have a main method, which means I have something to do. It would go through all these calculations, it would create these variables, assign these variables, which is stuff we did last tutorial, and then it would come down here to this print statement and say, oh boy, I guess I need to print something to the console. My console is down here. So take a look at that. I hit run, and boom, hello world shows up right here. So this is one very easy way to print things to the console. Now, let's print something else. Let's print a variable. Let's print my int var from last tutorial. So I'm going to write system.out.print my int var. Boom, just like that, I should now be able to print the value assigned to my int var, and sure enough, the value assigned in my int var shows up right here. Shows up as 0, which is what we have assigned in my int var. However, the hello world that I printed in line 37 and the 0 that I printed in line 38 are all showing up on the same line in the console. I don't want that. So, what can I do in order to put them on two different lines? Well, that's that second way of printing things that I wanted to show you guys. It's very similar to system.out.print, except we add two extra letters, ln. ln is short for line, so this is typically referred to as system.out.print line. And what it will do is it will place whatever comes after this on the next line. Now, if I run this program, what you'll see is that everything is still on the same line. Why is that? Well, the answer is very simple. Anything that comes after the print line is placed on a new line. So if I were to copy this statement and put it in here again, you would see that the 0 that it would print once more would be on the next line. So we got this 0 here and this 0 here. If I want this this print statement to show up on the next line, guess what I need to do? I need to make the preceding statement a print line. Just like that. Boom. Now I have printed everything on a separate line and I've used print line 3 times. Now, you might be wondering, what do I do if I want to print multiple different variables on the same line with one print statement? It's very simple. All you need to do, let's start with creating a fundamental print statement. So system.out.print, just like that. And now we need to put in our argument. So let's go up here and check out our variables from last tutorial. I think I want to use my string var, so I'm going to go copy that, put that name down here. But I also want to print a space, and I want to print the value of my double var. So how am I going to put that all into this one print statement? Won't that cause errors if I just put a bunch of things into the statement as the argument? Yes, it will. But if you use a specific syntax, then it won't. So in order to add multiple things in to the print statement, what we're going to need to do is add a plus. And then I could, if I wanted to put a space between my string var and the next thing I want to print, I can do double quotes and write a space, and then put another plus in, and then put another thing in here. And what you should see is that this will all be printed on one line, and you should see it print out the value of my string var, and then a space, and then the value of my double var. Now, why does this work? It's somewhat difficult to explain, but it works very simply. The process that is happening in the background is called concatenation, where you basically add things to a string. So whatever is in here is getting converted into a string that is being put into the console. And so when the compiler sees my string var and then this plus, it's going to take this value and it's going to convert it to a string. In this case, it already is a string. And it's going to add it to the back of my string var. And so that's how we get that my string var plus the space. And then it's going to take this value, convert it to a string, and then concatenate or add it to the back of this whole sequence right here. And that'll get us a very long string that will be printed out on the console. So let's go ahead and see this in action. Let's run the program. And just like that, we have printed hello world, which was the value of my string var, plus the space, plus 5.2. Now, I want to put this second hello world on the next line. How do I do that? Very simple. Put that ln back in there. Boom, run it again. And now I have everything on a separate line. Very easy. This has been a very easy introduction to print statements. I hope you learned something, and thank you for watching.